Hey, we're Scott and Amy Thompson with Thompson Essentials. It's great to see you guys today. Just wanted to come on here and just let's talk a little bit about something that you may not hear a lot about. Living in the South, we hear this word a lot.
Yes, with our humidity.
Yes, so humid in South Alabama, where we're from. So this word is very, very common. But what's the word?
Mold.
Mold. That's a scary word to most people.
Yes.
It really is. But let's talk about what mold toxicities can cause with your health. Dr. Scott, what would you recommend as far as things to be warning signs? Can you talk
Well, a lot of symptoms that you have a mold issue are not typical, right? I mean, there's things like nasal congestion, asthmatic type symptoms, and particularly if you have asthma to begin with, they can certainly make that worse. You can have bouts of sneezing, things that you're probably somewhat familiar with. You can also even have skin rashes to some degree, of which is probably most folks don't realize that. But you also can have actually little memory issues. You can have concentration issues, like a brain fog type kind of sense. Mold can lead to that. And before I forget, this is kind of the bottom of my list in my head, but before I forget it, I want to mention this. A lot of people don't realize this either, is that mold symptoms oftentimes come after a period of time. It's not like exposure symptoms. So sometimes it's kind of a prolonged or, I don't know, like a sleepy symptom type effect. You can be around mold over a long haul and then it starts to bother you. And I might want to mention this as well also. Mold might not be in your home, which we're going to come back to that in a minute, how you can figure that out. But it may be somewhere else that you're commonly at regularly enough for the repeated exposure to present itself in the way of these symptoms. So it could be a workplace. It could be anywhere else. It could be maybe at a friend or a relative's house that you might frequent regularly enough that it could possibly expose you, whereas
a gym. It could be a gym.
Correct.
A school. It could be our daily things that we...
Your children's skin. They can be sitting in a certain area always consistently enough that they're developing a mold toxic issue. But back to our symptoms, it can also affect you in the ways of your mood. It can give you anxiety type symptoms. Maybe you've been chasing for some time how this fog, this brain fog, and this anxiety and bouts of depression. Believe it or not, mold can give you issues and symptoms of that type as well. Not only that, you can even develop, and this one blows my mind, this is actually researched and new news to me, believe it or not, fever. Or you can have fever even, and night sweats can be a contributing factor or symptom rather, that mold is bothering you internally. So and this one, I just learned this myself a few years ago, you can mistakenly think that, do I have arthritis? Do I have fibromyalgia? Do I have whatever symptoms? But all those aches and joint aches and muscular pains and even like flu-like type symptoms can be related or kind of lost in you have mold.
So you're saying like these things can be like misdiagnosed or misunderstood.
Absolutely. Often is. It often is. And it can be something people suffer with for years. And they don't even realize that mold is their ultimate foundational culprit of the issues they're experiencing. So it can very much be mistaken for something else.
Right.
Just because of an unknowing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, as far as testing is concerned, there are blood work testing you can do to differentiate and figure out really if you do have, in fact, a mold toxic level that's giving you these type symptoms. But also, Amy, you know a lot better than I do about this. How do I know if I have mold in my home, maybe in my bedroom, near where I sleep? Because, a third of our life, hopefully a third of your life, because we'll talk about that another day, the importance of good rest and sleep. But how do I know, what can I do to find out if I have mold in the area that I'm sleeping or my living room or wherever I'm usually at home, in my home?
Right. That is a very good question, Dr. Scott. So there are testing kits that you can order. I know they're all over the internet, different ones. There is one out there that I will link and put into this video. You can follow, message us, whatever, reach out to us. We'll be glad to get you that link. But this particular test that we use and we have used on our own, we've used it in our homes and in our workplaces and things as such. That particular one is super easy. You just take these it's like a little...
it looks like a little petri dish.
Yeah, you just place them in the different areas of your home. And then you put them in your rooms wherever, you are at the most. I would always recommend bathrooms. Those are really common places. But also put them in your bedroom, put them in your kitchen, put them in all your kids' rooms, because you do not want mold in your kids' rooms. All these people I know, a lot of people struggle with kids and congestion constantly. And that can be leading to this and this and that. And go down a cycle of
Yeah,
unnecessary surgeries even.
Yes, my child has allergies. Maybe they need sinus surgery. Maybe they need this medication, that medication, when in fact, at the root of it all is mold.
Right.
And you might not have mold per se in your living room, but, a door down the hall, a child has it in their room. It can be very differentiated in that this room's fine, 2 rooms over isn't fine.
Right. But the key thing here is to test. We don't guess, we test. That's what we always say.
Correct.
So these tests, I will link that below for you. But you take that test kit, you do them, the Petri dish, and you send it into a company that will then test it in the laboratory under microscopes. They can identify what type of mold it is. Because even just because it's, mold doesn't mean it's a toxic, terrible mold. In South Alabama, we have moldy mildew, that's a whole topic in itself. Not to say that you want that in your house. You definitely don't want mold and bacteria growing in your house. By all means, clean your house. But if you don't identify the problem, then you don't even know it's there. So the test kits are super easy. You order them and you mail them back in. And within a week or 2, they will email you just like a lab report that you get whenever you do labs for your, your blood labs and such.
Yes, and you can actually tell a decent amount of information just on what is growing or not growing, right?
Yeah.
It's not even sending it in. You just get a deeper dive, more information as to, exactly what is that growing in this dish. You can get more information by sending it in, of course.
Right, exactly. And then you can identify that and you'll know like, hey, I'm doing. And if you don't do the mold test kits, which I highly recommend, then you can also know that there are ways to go and just put the air purifier. No, dehumidifiers. They have that.
Well, for us.
Right. In the South, those are
crazy humidity. Praise the Lord. Well, good, not good. Where we live now, a couple of the worst things you can experience as far as cost with your home is one of the big things. Our air conditioner unit died.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, great. Well, once I replace it, that's expensive, but I don't really have to worry about it going bad again. So, because it's been new. But we elected to get a dehumidifier with our heat and air unit.
It's made in the unit.
So, so that helps a lot as far as our home's humidity, getting it stabilized.
Right.
Which is very, very important, again, to reiterate where we live.
And then just plugging those air purifiers out throughout your home.
Yep.
There's some different brands. We can link those below, and those will also be on our website, dude.
Yes, absolutely. ThompsonEssentials.com.
Okay, guys, we're going to wrap it up on this topic today of mold. But as we talk about every week on this show, we want to just remind you guys the essentials to becoming healthy and leading a healthy family are so important. Thank you guys for tuning into our mold talk today. And as always, Thompson Essentials, we want to empower you to have a healthy family, and we want to give you some pointers on raising a healthy family. Those are essential things like mold toxicity and looking out for those things.
Right. Everything that's essential. If it is essential for your health, we want to cover it, right?
Right.
Yes. So I believe that the mold is very, very important to cover, and we can't wait to discuss the next topic for you guys and on another episode. Please watch this, rewatch it, go to some of those links we're going to send you. It'll help educate you. It'll help you solve if you do or do not have a mold toxic problem. Thompson Essentials, we're signing off. Good to see you guys.
Bye-bye. See ya.